I was the guy behind you in line, and I remember you getting hit, and I'm like, there's no way he didn't feel that. I was like, that hit him hard as hell.
Dad used to tell me all the time. Son, don't worry about the mules, just load the wagon.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rock Chalk Unplugged. I'm here with my co-host, Mitch Lightfoot.
What's up, baby? We're back. Another episode. Got a great guest today. Ready for this.
We'll get started right off the bat introducing our guest, KJ Adams.
How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you on, KJ.
The anchor of the Kansas men's basketball team has certainly took a jump from his freshman and sophomore year. Really been impressive and helped lead this team.
Yeah, and before we start talking about the jump you've made and kind of everything that your career at Kansas has been, let's talk about last night's game. Hey, it's a must-win game in the Big 12, and then obviously the ball situation. I knew nothing about it, and I feel like I am pretty up to date on all the Kansas stuff that's going on. I knew nothing about it until you guys started posting about it. One of my all-time favorite Kansas memories. Give us a little, without incriminating anybody or doing anything, give us a little insight to what that was like.
For people that don't know, explain it a little bit. Explain what happened, just so we make sure everyone understands.
So after probably a couple months ago, we played TCU. They kind of did us dirty at home for a little bit.
They did.
A little bit. Then after, I look at my Instagram, I'm scrolling, and Eddie Lampkin's from Texas, so I kind of follow him a little bit. So I look on, and it's him with a Kansas ball and him talking about rock chalk in weird letters. And then he has his friend that had 17 that game. So we kind of remembered that. And then basically after we beat them, Miles threw the ball, and Juan ran over to get it so we can take it. But
that video is awesome.
We
had
to
takes
get
off.
It. And then after shoot around, we definitely had to take their shirts so we can put it on just in case. 100%. They actually tried to steal the ball from Juan after. They had managers waiting to try to steal the ball from Juan after we already took it.
No way. That's awesome. Juan was like, hell no, was not going to happen.
He was dribbling it in front of them, crossing them up as they were trying to take the ball.
Oh, that'll be his highlight of his career. When he remembers one thing, he'll never cross out the little managers.
But it was weird because they knew what was happening. So they had a security line of managers just waiting to try to steal it. But there was only one that was really trying to get the ball because everybody else was kind of scared to say something.
That's hilarious. I definitely think the pettiness was definitely deserved, and I'm glad you guys got that win, and that puts us definitely in a great position to get a piece or win it straight out the Big 12.
And that's some pettiness you really don't see from a Clipboards team. I haven't seen that, so I loved it. Obviously, just last night was great in general. But let's talk about, just your start from Kansas. You came in. You weren't the number one recruit in our class, and you didn't know exactly how you were going to fit in. What was it like coming into a program, and when was that revelation of okay, this is what I need to do, this is how I got to do it, and how I go about my business?
Well, I kind of knew coming in that I wasn't going to be the best person or even going to play a lot because we obviously had a bunch of high recruits, and we had a stacked team already without the recruits. Yeah. So it was kind of hard, but basically I knew I could play defense, I can rebound, and kind of just be the hustle guy. So that's really kind of what I knew what to do. And when you have to battle Mitch every day, it kind of sucks. So just kind of do what you kind of can.
I think the thing that really impressed me the most about your game when you first got to Kansas is your ability to do whatever it took to get on the floor. I can say this without a doubt. You played harder than anybody I've ever played against in practice, which is impressive. Yes, you played harder.
Yeah, I played harder than me. It was different. I was trying to go around and shoot.
I was just going to go around
through people.
You were going to dive. You were diving into the walls, doing whatever it took to make sure coach knew, hey, you can play me during the games, because it's all about building coach's trust in you, and you did that as a freshman, and I think you're reaping the rewards of that in your sophomore year for sure. You
were also a guy that Coach Self didn't know exactly what to do with you. You're undersized to be a 5. You're great at it this year. You figured out the role, but then they were trying to play you as a guard to start. Yeah. And so, you just were open-minded to it. And, like you said, play as hard as you possibly could. That was your mantra. And just, expand on that, because I know that's got to be hard. And, it really is carried into this year.
Especially, coming in freshman year, it's kind of a weird situation because Coach really didn't recruit me, Yeah. So it was kind of taking that leap where it's whatever's going to happen. I'm putting myself in the best situation, and you could either do really good or it could crash really bad. So I kind of put myself in a really good situation. Now I've been doing pretty good at it so far. So that's one of the things. And it's kind of different when you have role models like y'all and Ochai everybody that's been there for, J. Cole's been there for 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's good having that mentor my first year that a lot of freshmen don't get.
Being in the Big 12 and being the big man in the Big 12, how do you have to play differently than someone who might be 6'11", 7 foot? Like, how do you have to guard guys like that? What do you have to do different in your game?
Well, obviously, I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit. Eddie Lampkin did a good job on me the last time, but then this time I kind of used my quickness a little bit to get in. But sometimes I am strong enough to kind of buff with a lot of guys, but sometimes it doesn't really work out a lot. So just trying to figure out the highs and lows of what I can do and really what I can't do, and try to go in between and find a little sweet spot.
For sure.
And last year, you were like, when you came in the game, you think about the games you came in against Duke, or
Kentucky.
yeah, Kentucky early in the year, and
Big game against Texas Tech, didn't you?
Yeah.
Played big game
wait,
against
I'm talking
Tech.
about last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big game
Texas
against
Tech.
Texas Tech.
I
You
had a good
played.
game against Texas
Okay,
Tech.
Texas, yeah. You'd come in that, like, you had those 2-3 minutes where they throw you in for energy. And then when they threw you in against Miami in the Elite Eight, like, you sparked that. I mean, I think Grant Hill even said it.
Yeah, that game changed when you checked into the game and guarded Cam McGusty. I think it was like 30 seconds left on the clock in the first
Yeah,
half.
and the only person the whole first half that stopped him, too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was killing us. You checked in, gave us the chance to get a stop, and that led us that momentum into the second half where we ultimately ended up winning. And even look at the national championship game.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel to get put into a game with the game on the line and you're in the game of a national championship? How does that feel?
It definitely does feel, because I already kind of had a goal. Like, I wanted to play a little bit of minutes. I knew I wasn't going to play a lot, but like I knew I wanted to be in some moments where it mattered. And I came in like a lot of big moments.
The most
there's a lot
important
of
moments.
pressure.
So that was cool. And then I think just in general, I knew that I was sitting out for like 34 minutes and then coming in. So I was fresh. I already had an advantage, and I was already built up because this is like my first time in like engagements like this, like big games. So I was on crack, and everybody's worn out 34 minutes into the game.
I think the thing
tired.
I think the thing that's special about you is that you can guard the guards a lot more efficiently than some of the bigs have in the past here at KU, myself included. You have the ability to slide your feet. You have the ability to really close out smart on jumpers. You saw that in the national championship game.
Yeah.
Coach goes to you because, hey, this guy can switch five. He's going to make sure he gets up on the ball and doesn't let a guy get a three off when we're up by three. So that is just another testament to how much Coach trusts in you. Yeah. And I think that means a lot to someone's confidence.
Yeah, and it's crazy because sometimes, like, as I figured out my role in this season, like, as I would see Coach looking at the bench, I would kind of already have my jersey. Probably T-Hand would probably say, I already have my jersey half off. So by the time he said my name, I'd probably be in the scores box.
Don't give him a chance to change his mind. No. KJ's going in.
Actually, I almost gave him a chance because you remember Texas Tech?
Yeah.
I forgot my jersey.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, tell that story. That's a pretty good story.
I don't think people really ever noticed. I forgot about that completely. Oh my God.
We were at Texas Tech. I don't remember what game that was.
It was pretty early on.
I think it was the first game.
It might have been the
Big
first
12.
one, Big 12 regular season, yes.
Yeah.
I really only got in when David or Mitch got in foul trouble. So they were probably both in a little bit of foul trouble. And then Coach calls my name, and I get it because I don't put my jersey on like the first 2 times we go. I only put it on the last 3 times.
Yeah.
So Coach calls me up. I lift up my shirt, like my warm up, and my jersey's not in there. So I immediately put it down. I look over, and my dad's back there, like, oh my God. And then Jaden, the manager, was sprinting to the locker room, and they just gave me a blood jersey, and I ran. But I think Coach saw like barely any of it because he looked back and was just like, but he was so into the game, he barely even noticed.
The other story I wanted to bring up and talk to you about a little bit, people might not know this, but we had a little bit of a mishap at Allen Fieldhouse when we were running out of the tunnel your freshman year. Tell that story and give the people a little bit of insight on that.
So it was probably the biggest game of the year at that point in the season.
I mean, that was Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad day from the jump. We should have known after that.
Oh my
For sure. But give us a little insight into what happened.
So this is like our last time going out of the tunnel. We're hyped up, so I'm already built up like on 100%. Like everything's going crazy in my mind right now. I'm shaking. I'm ready for the game. We're running out, and then I forgot who was in front of me, but like Dajuan or somebody was in front of me, and I just see a scoreboard creep down. And then I couldn't, like, I was so hyped up and hyped up, I couldn't even focus on what was going on. So scored, pinks me. But, like, you forget, I'm so like crazy about the game. Like I didn't even like I shook it off. But like when we were doing layup lines, I was like, oh my God, like it was like I probably had a concussion.
I was the guy behind you in line, and I remember you getting hit, and I'm like, "There's no way he didn't feel that." I was like, "That hit him hard as hell," and you heard it. Like, you were like, "Ding!" And I was like, "No way, KJ just ran by like that. Like he had to be locked in."
Well, and like that little metal flap, like it wasn't like, I don't know, I've never seen that ever happen.
I've never
with
seen that flap
thing.
off.
It was like destiny. Like we should have all like just literally walked back into the locker room after that
It's
happened.
like Final Destination. Like,
Yeah, just for like, all right, yeah, today's
From like
not our day.
the
We're
past
out.
10 games after that, like I would duck. Like just in case, like it was like PTSD, just like walking into the tunnel.
Oh no, they put extra screws in.
I know, I bet they did, bro.
they had to. They're lucky KJ's tough as he is.
Oh
'cause
yeah.
If you were any softer, you
Oh my
Or
God.
like think about if he breaks his nose or something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
coach would have been pissed.
Yeah, if you're the maintenance guy, like I would have gone hid in my closet and locked the door.
Do you
Like,
remember?
before a big game.
Speaking of like things you can't really control, like how you got hurt. Do you remember when Svi accidentally got poked in the eye when we were playing?
No, that was Marcus hit him with the like
On
the
accident,
dunk.
yeah. When
we
Marcus was dunking in warm-ups of our game at Baylor. Correct?
Our freshman year.
Your
with
freshman year,
Marcus,
my sophomore,
my
yeah.
freshman year with Marcus Garrett or with Devontae Graham, Malik Newman, and Svi. And we were going through warm-ups, and Marcus went up for a dunk, like in 2-line layups, and Svi was behind him. When Marcus dunked, he like brought his left hand down or something, hit Svi right here.
And Svi's eyes like swelling, like
Jesus
it's like
Christ.
we're like, dude, what happened? Like,
Eyes
did you get hit in the
closed.
face with the ball? Like he could barely open his eye. I think he still went out and made like 3 threes that game. Like
We
only
got-
needed
we
one
got
eye.
sharp
We
shooter.
lost though, and yeah.
Coach
This was probably the best.
Coach Self was definitely a little.
He
definitely a little.
He
hot.
mentioned that once or twice as like the little
The rest of the
post-game
year.
thing.
It's funny how it works out though. We ended up winning it and ended up going to the Final Four that year. And
Yeah, I don't know if that helped anything though. Like that wasn't like a turning point. That
No,
was just
that
kind
was
of one
just
of
like-
those things where it's like, damn,
we're hurting ourselves at this point. What are we doing?
Yeah.
makes everything a little bit more.
The thing about
surprising.
Coach Self that is kind of crazy is like he'll remember that like a day, but Coach Self would probably remember that like 20 days later. Like he remembers like the most like critical things I've ever seen in my life. Like he'll go down a list of like what Mitch's first basket was, or freaking like when Ochai did this to help them win, like get a rebound or something. Like that's the crazy thing. Coach
His
always
stories.
remembers crazy little details like
And
that.
he gets mad at him too, like what you said, like with the little scoreboard coming down. Like you could have hit it or something, messing around, then it fell, and he wouldn't have mentioned it or gotten mad about it for like 2 weeks. And then you would have messed up in practice trying to prepare for
Exactly.
Texas. Next
Maybe
week.
if you hadn't hit your dang head on that.
Just messing around, hitting your head on the scoreboard, you would be able to remember that. Like he'd go off about it and like actually ask like really pissed off.
Yeah.
But it takes a while for him to like remember
I know,
and process
before
it
it to
again.
kick in.
He,
sure.
he picks his times too for that little shot in there. Well, I mean, last time me and Mitch were talking on like our last episode, we had that 3-game losing streak,
Yeah.
and then we ended up beating Kentucky. And then did we lose? Did we drop another one? Someone
Iowa
later,
State.
No,
yeah. And then we lost
Iowa
to
State.
Iowa State, and we looked awful against them.
Sky was falling.
Sky was falling again. I mean, like rightfully so. Like any other team in the NCAA, like would pretty much be dead in the water in the Big 12 race. Like, what is that mentality change that you guys had? Was it like a coach self effort, or was it just like, hey, those games were perfect storms. We knew what we had, and we just had to make sure we were a little bit more locked in.
Yeah, I think it's just especially that game was a morning game.
Yeah,
So
those
that,
are always
that
hard.
sucks, but it really can't be an excuse. So it's really just about like just kind of having that energy. Like we play so good when we have energy and like defense. So that's really like our keys to this year. So that really helps, and Twitter helps, you know.
Yeah,
That'll
Twitter, it's the
humble
best.
you a little
It's one of the
bit.
best
Go read it.
motivators.
Yeah.
That was
Go
another
read
thing
a
we
little
talked
bit.
about. It's like the players actually look at
Oh yeah,
social
of course.
media.
I look at everything y'all say.
Yeah, everything they're saying, we're listening, and it's definitely going to impact how we play the next game.
Of
And
course.
I think that was one of the cool parts about growing up in the generation we grew up in is like we get to see like if you played 20 years ago, you might not see what the people actually think. You can change it in your head and they go, they're probably not that upset with me. No, you lose 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Trust me, they're going to be upset.
Yeah,
It
a lot of
happened
people
to us as well.
A lot of people had a lot of nice things to say to me in the start of the season about how I was small. So
You're keeping receipts?
helped a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping receipts like CB.
Yeah, we gotta win that. We gotta win in April
Yeah.
before that. But you were talking about like you guys having that energy, and I wrote this question down coming in. It's like, is this team insane? Because if you like, you guys have so much fun competing. Like you guys watch. I mean, you watch you run around every time you make any kind of play. Like you're screaming like insane. Grady does that after everything. Kevin, I watched him run over Eddie Lampkin and hit a layup and just like look in the crowd, smiling, running around. Like everybody, when it comes to competing, like you guys love it and you guys genuinely seem to enjoy it and pretty much be like, hey, and this is a typical coach self trait. Like you guys want it to be competitive because you guys want it, like you guys could throw the balls. I want no one to be making shots. I want to sit there and like literally be like, I want it more. Like that. That's the mindset of this team, right? Like from what I've noticed.
Yeah, well, of course, like our team has a little bit of problems because we're all competitive. So that can tell you about how practice is, because everybody knows like practice is kind of like where really the teams are made. We all know that. We had a lot of difficult practices with each other. And I think, this team is just very competitive. So it shows up on the court and it shows up on times where you like need it. So when there's like something going on or something like that, it always comes back to all the fights you had during practice and all the difficult times. So it really helps.
I wanted to talk to you about being a former big guy here myself. Like what playing back in my day, but playing with Dajuan. Talk about that. Like how much easier does he make your life? I've tried to tell people how important he is to the team and how it was a shame that he wasn't listed. It was the Bob Cousy.
Yeah, he wasn't listed. But he had a little rough stretch, but like I agree with everything. You
talk about how much how easy it is to play with him and how much easier he makes your life. Like, give us a little insight on that.
He makes my life incredibly easy because all I have to do is just set a screen and wait for Juan to give it to me in the perfect spot. He obviously can. Yeah. That's all you have to do.
I swear, like he should get accredited for the points he makes because he just makes so many dang points. I know it's assists, but they should go in his score column too because they're just so easy on everybody else. And
if they probably would have calculated how many shots that I've missed or someone else missed wide open, Juan would probably double his assist marks. It's insane.
And I mean, basing off of like Juan getting it to you there, you have found your way in the offense through the short roll game. Like that is where you get the ball. That is teams have pretty much earlier in the year were like, hey, have KJ beat us. Yeah. And you were single-handedly beating them in the short roll game. Like having you two there and having him having the scoring ability and having that mid-range game, like that is your niche. And like, when did you figure that out? Because that's something like a traditional big man, especially at Kansas, has never really done. It's
always been either
get angles
or roll 100% to the rim. The short roll has been something.
Highest ever.
Yeah.
Well, me and Juan bounce really well off each other because we kind of have the same kind of game. So like during practice, like we would always like play how we're playing right now during the games, but like it kind of took me for my confidence to build in to actually be able to want to do and like be able to have the confidence to take some difficult shots and take some stuff like that. So it all just comes down to confidence and just Juan telling me over and over again to shoot shots like that.
We were joking about this earlier, but your jump shot has come so much farther since you got here. Like what has that been like, and how have you built your confidence? Has there been like a particular coach, or have you been working that on your own? Like what's been going on with that?
My trainer comes down here a little bit to just help me with some of that. He works with B2Y in Austin. He comes in, helps me a little bit, and then watches the game, tells me about what I need to do wrong. So that obviously helps when my trainer can come in and help me with a lot of that stuff. But it all just comes down to reps, like taking those hard shots in practice and actually kind of taking myself off the comfort zone. Because like now I kind of shoot it with more confidence than I did.
You do. There's somewhere you're like, you'll get it, catch and shoot. I'm like, oh yeah, KJ thinks that's going in. And it does, but like
watching,
no thought, like, dude, I'm like, all right. KJ,
like watching him shoot now, like, tell me, like,
oh no,
it's like I watch you shoot. I'm like, dude, that looks good. Like, every time you shoot it, I'm like, that's got a chance to go in. As opposed to like when he first got here, you'd be like, oh
yeah, last year
go dunk it, KJ.
You would have never shot that last year.
You
like that was the thing that surprised me when you started shooting him early. Where it is like, we need you to shoot that. But then I was like, okay, well, KJ's getting out of his comfort zone. Like, let's see how he does. And you got confidence very fast.
Because if you don't do that, then teams play a completely different way. They're going to pack their big guy underneath the hoop, and it's going to be hard to score. That just, like, people don't realize how much you shooting that 8-foot to 10-foot shot opens up the offense for everyone. You get back, like Kevin will back cut, get an easy layup. Bobby back cut, easy layup. Like it actually makes Jalen's life easier because he can get a 1-on-1 instead of a 1-on-1.5. Like there's so many things that are benefited by you shooting that.
And like last year when I would shoot a 3, it was like the sky's falling. They're like, "Oh my goodness," because I wasn't used to shooting.
We'd be like,
threes.
"Shoot it, KJ, shoot
I
it."
know, but they'd be on the opposite team trying to make me miss it. That's why they would say, "Shoot it."
No, he was on your
was
team.
on
You
team,
and him on red team was a deadly duo. Like
my-
people don't understand. Like the red team would go out there. And this is a national championship winning team, and our red team would go out there and kick our asses.
We would get. I mean, you're competitive. I'm competitive, and then you would throw a couple other guys.
Like Jank can go out there and shoot the hell out of it.
Shoot. And then you would have some guys that would come from the blue team over to the red team, and we had Dylan and all that. But like we were competitive too. So like if you guys pissed us off,
know.
like, you guys were getting our best.
And
shot.
it would
Like,
always
me
be
and
the
KJ
pissed off
were-
guys on the red team because Coach Self would go, because you'd be on the blue team first, and he'd be like,
facts.
"All right, Mitch, you haven't done anything for us today. You give us nothing. Go red." He'd be like, "Dang it, I got to prove it back to him." So you have all the motivated people that are
But
on the
then
red team.
sometimes that
No
would-
fouls either.
Then sometimes I would screw it up because he would take Mitch out, put me in. Now Mitch is like pissed off, so I'd be going in making a layup against a bull. So
And then that was you guys just going back and forth
Yeah.
on blue and red the rest of the day.
I swear, if they tallied up the number of fouls we had in practice, like it would be unreal.
Mitch, you would
over
if
under
they-
100.
If it carried over, if your fouls carried over from practice at Kansas basketball, you'd be fouled out of the next 1,000 games you ever play. Like, you have 5,000 more before you even get like out of the question of it.
Unreal.
well, him and Cam and then Dave would foul a little bit when Mitch would piss
It's
me
Especially
off.
only the bigs. The guards would never foul.
the guards would like always chill. Like they'd always chill each other. The big guys, like you piss one of us
Yes.
off, and you know a hard foul is coming next play.
The guards would be going like 80% a little bit, just trying to fill it out, and then the bigs were just over there just going
Full speed,
through it,
like-
just going through it because we have 5 bigs competing for
one spot.
and then a second spot for like 15 minutes of the other
Maybe
game.
even 15
And
minutes.
then
like
me
10
and
minutes.
Zach are freaking competing for 2 minutes of the last end of the game.
Like everyone's going as hard as they can the entire time. And like you look like because when we split it up, it's like bigs on one end, guards on one end. And the guards are down there shooting.
Oh,
and
yeah, we're
they're getting
going
their reps
through.
up. And the big guys are down there battling. Coach Rob's
Coach
like,
Rob.
"What are you doing? Like, why aren't you going harder? Like that'll never work in the game." Like
As we're doing 5-minute threes, which is literally just like, let's see how many
KT walks
threes
around
the next 5 minutes.
T-Hand, you haven't made a 3 since 1992.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's all. That was the hardest part about ours was just listening to KT chirp the whole time, and then you listen on your end, you see Coach New York Coach Rob out down there, and you guys are pretty much. You might as well just have boxing gloves on, just like fighting. Like, at that
That's
point,
not a foul. Play through it.
It's wild.
My favorite thing would just be like looking down there, and KT would be like, "Hey, Mitch, watch this. I'm about to get on him." And this is when Chris was a freshman, and so Chris like didn't know KT was just getting on him, and KT like, "Chris, you lost to Clay. Go touch Rock Chalk Park."
You try to get. That'd be a cool thing where I actually thought he was going to make me go outside and run and like touch the baseball field and run back to Allen.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you're coming in as a freshman, like you don't know like the dynamic and everything. So like when you first come in, like everything's intimidating. So like if you have Coach KT messing with you and you don't know he's like a little bit joking, you're just like what am I doing?
half
Like
the
you're-
time,
They
you're
want me
like,
to
"Oh my God, he's
transfer."
actually mad at me."
They want me to transfer already. Like I just got here.
When they're in all reality, they're just messing with you. Like they've already told somebody, "Hey, watch this. I'm gonna get on him."
Well, they know that KJ didn't. They know that we didn't understand. So it's like, all right, like let's see how long before. Like let's get our fun in before they understand that.
And then,
we're
but
just
then you
messing
go
with them.
home like, dang, like what am I doing wrong? Like, bro, this is terrible. And then
Oh,
you just realize it's a joke, and then you're just like, bro, whatever.
The old guys will come back, "Hey, dude, you're fine. Like your life, he's just messing with you. Like get over it."
The walk-ons, you guys know they get it the worst.
man.
There's been a couple times, there's been a couple of walk-ons where like I'll see him leave practice mad, like pissed off, being like, "Bro, KT dog, like he just like will not like I'm going to be on the team next year, dude. I'm out. KT or something." I'm like, bro, he's messing with you. Like all you have to do is not get hurt about it, and it's over.
And you gotta like
it's
say
over.
something, or if you say something back like funny, like they'll respect it.
Yeah, then it's done. With like 5 minutes left in the game, we see Max Duggan walk into the arena last night. And as a fan, like I'm pretty concerned. Like the man walks in a tux late, the crowd goes crazy. Like, what was it like being in the arena? Because like I know he's like a rival team, but like that's Max Duggan. Like he had a crazy run, Heisman candidate, national champ, like almost a national champion. I mean, not really almost. Like they got whacked, but
Only by 58.
go on.
Only. Well, it's kind of hard because like you see Coach in there with a clipboard locking into something, but then you hear the crowd just go rah rah. So it's kind of hard to like not look. So like obviously everybody goes to look, and we see it's like Max Duggan getting the crowd like pumped up, and he's all in there with a suit. Everybody's just going wild. So it's kind of hard not to look. Like even when like Travis Kelce walked in when we played K-State, like even Coach Self looked at the board to see who it was. So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to lock in, but like you're kind of aware of your surroundings. So I've never seen that place that loud. That was the loudest it was all night.
Speaking of Travis Kelce being in the building, talk about what it was like having him. I know he came to the locker room, talked to you guys for a little bit. What did he have to say, and how was he when he was there?
No, it was pretty cool. I definitely didn't expect someone like Travis Kelce to come to one of our games, especially after he just won the AFC Championship.
Yeah, AFC Championship.
AFC,
So it was kind of cool to see him there because he has a Super Bowl in like a week before that. So it was kind of cool to see him there. But like him coming in the locker room was kind of like a shock because it's kind of like an idol that you see on TV. Like I went to about 3 games since I've been here, so it was kind of cool to see. It was like I don't even know how to describe it.
So like a celebrity.
Yeah, it was definitely like a celebrity coming to the locker room. So
I definitely felt the same way. I was like, damn, I didn't go to this game. Like, there's no way he's gonna show up to the game I don't go to.
And I was there, and like I'm there with my girlfriend, and so like, and it was just me and her. There was another former players there, so like I was almost like I'm gonna sneak my way into the locker room. Like she can sit outside and wait for me to get done. Like I want to go say what's up.
Hey Travis, can I get a picture?
You know
he's
the
an
craziest
A-list celebrity.
You know the craziest thing is the first thing I thought was like, dang, Mitch was gonna be pissed because I knew T-Han was there, but Mitch and T-Han is probably the biggest like Chiefs fans I've known since I've been here. So I was like, dang, Mitch is not here.
I got my Kelce jersey and everything.
Yeah, and they went earlier in the year to go visit Arrowhead, and I was like, Coach Self knew and would always, and we would practice during Chiefs games. We practiced during the AFC Championship game last year.
The best game in one of the best games in NFL history was it Chiefs played the Rams on a Monday night. We had practiced the entire game. That game went to overtime. And we got out, and the score was like, what was it, 50 to 53?
Yeah.
And like, there was 2 minutes left in the game, and we're like, what is going on? We missed the best game of all time.
And I honestly think he was like checking the score on his phone too.
Dude, they always do that.
We gotta run another drill or something.
You'll have managers sitting there like this, like managers on their Apple Watches, like Chiefs are down 7.
They look at the TVs up by their offices.
Yeah,
just to
they're on
check.
the other side of the door, and then you walk over there, and they're like, "Why are you walking over here?" And it's like the same reason that you're sitting there. I can see the TV up in the office. I can watch.
And then KT will be like, "Yeah, Chiefs are down by 14, Mitch. If we're winning, no matter what, he's just gonna screw with Chris and I'm like, yeah, Chiefs are getting their butts kicked."
I don't think we got anything good out of being Chiefs fans. I just think they used it as like an easy target for us, like, to mess with us because we were.
Here's your punishment. No Chiefs game. We're like, Coach, that only punishes 2 people here.
Yeah, like that was a walk on, and one year you redshirted, and you're still getting punished. Like, okay, we even get a chance to play, so like at least let us watch
he made up for it though. The night of the Super Bowl, the first Chiefs Super Bowl,
we played Texas.
We played Texas the next day, and Chris was walking on, and I had redshirted that year. And so after that game, Coach was like, "Okay, you guys can go celebrate." And celebrate we did. Celebrate we did.
I bet y'all had an amazing night.
It was an all-time night, and I won't forget it. We rushed Mass Street with the students, and
actually, when the Chiefs won, I actually went to the parade, so that was pretty cool.
Pretty sweet. That's sweet.
So it was, but I had to park. Like it was impossible to park. I was searching for like 30 minutes. I just was like, screw it. Paid $75 just to freaking park.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. They're taxing. They're making money on that.
They're making money.
That's why I didn't decide to do anything for it. I was like, I'm not parking at all.
Like, you've been part of 2 championship parades since you came to school at KU.
It was fun. It was
really
a
part of one. Really a part of one.
That's true. It was worth it. Like after we were there, like I was just like, bro, it's not even worth it. Like
packed.
Walking.
There's a ton of people there though. There's a ton of people.
Like I couldn't even see the players, but I could see the screens.
How many times did they stop you to get pictures like KJ?
Okay, that was like the one time where like I probably only got asked for like 3 or 4 pictures because everybody's focused on the Chiefs. No one cares.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
no one cares. Under the radar.
Everybody's pretty much like hammered, so I don't even think anybody noticed me walking
Chiefs
by.
fans, baby. We know how to celebrate.
No, they were locked in on the
Isn't
Chiefs
it crazy
too.
that that's like the regular now? Like if we don't win the
expect to
AFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, it's like, dang, disappointing.
And that's like Kansas basketball. Like now,
100%.
I expect to win a Natty this year. I expect to win the Big 12 every single year.
Here we go.
I mean, I expect it. If you guys don't do it, like I'm gonna be pissed off. Like I'd be.
That's why it was so like depressing when we lost it in 20. What was the year we lost the streak? 2018.
2018. Like those.
Yeah,
are just
how
things.
was that? Like what the?
It was dark.
We never seen Chris and Mitch down so bad.
We earned every bit of last year simply for the fact about how we lost the Big 12 streak and we lost the Big 12 in 2021.
Imagine losing in the NCAA tournament by like 32
twice.
That's crazy.
Auburn and USC did us in. It was horrible.
Me and Mitch thought we would be like part of the worst 10 year in the
We were like,
KU
they
history.
are
That's
never
why we
going to
came
forget us
back.
because of how bad we were.
Yeah.
I think that also made like us winning last year like so sweet because like everything that everybody went through before I got there, like Oach was crying because of that we won the Big 12 because like that meant so much to him like winning it, and then like the national championship, everybody was just probably the happiest they've been.
I feel like
trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
I mean, this
winning a
is
national
simple
championship,
as-
like everyone was almost in shock. Like when we
Yeah.
won the Big 12 regular season in the tournament, that was awesome. And everyone, like the emotions are flowing. But like
yeah.
once you win the national championship, everyone's like, what? Like this is like almost like what's happening? Like
You-
pinch me. It's
yeah.
like not. It doesn't even feel real. Like,
Yeah, and you expect to win, like you believe you can win the whole time, but like it's one of those things where it's such like an adrenaline rush that it is like
you're like looking around, like
this happens.
where am I?
Yeah.
But I think those years that we were bad, like it really set a new precedent for like because you guys understand
Precedent.
it with that. Yeah, precedent. Grammar, please. But it sets a new standard. It sets a new standard.
Good.
But like you guys didn't have to feel that. Like you guys weren't
Yeah.
there to do that. But
Exactly.
we imprinted the importance of that onto your guys' brain. What, dude?
I'm trying to get on your ass again.
All right, go ahead. You talk now.
Okay,
you start
hey.
talking.
Change the subject. We're gonna head over
Keep
to
all
the.
that in. He's acting like a fool. I want America to see this.
We're gonna switch it on over. We're going to the Q&As from our loyal fans. We appreciate every single one of you guys that submitted a question.
We'll try to keep doing that before every episode. We really appreciate it. We love your guys' questions. There's some interesting ones.
Do you think
on
we
this
should
one.
start saying like the names of the people to give them little shout outs for their questions?
No,
or-
because we're definitely gonna butcher pronunciation,
Okay.
and then people can start messing with us.
If
like
you know,
their names.
hey, if you know, you know. If we say your question, thank you.
Yes.
If we don't, thank you.
More, you get some gratitude from yourself.
I'm going to start us off. Player comps between this year's team and last year's team. Who do you think has grown the most? Who do you think has been the most reliable? Who do you think has given us the most spark? What are your guys' player comps
From this year, from last year.
from last year to this year? I think I look at you and I really do see an Ochai type where you're not the numbers but the consistency from you. Like you give us good minutes every single night. You're gonna be out there. You're gonna play hard. Like that's like an Ochai Christian from a presence feeling.
And it means something to you every single game. Like it doesn't matter if you could have 0 points, just like when Ochai, like when he was struggle last year, you could still tell that like this game meant that game specifically meant a ton to you.
And I think that means a ton to our fans because like they can see that you care. But
That is true. I feel like also like people can see like that like my heart is kind of out there when I play, especially last year. Like I averaged 1 point a game, and I still had like a lot of fans. Like to me, like it feels like I suck, but like just for people like seeing that I actually care and just playing hard, a lot of people actually really liked me because of it. So it's kind of weird to.
I think you build a big fan base when you play with your heart on your sleeve. And there's been a lot of guys that have come to Kansas and they might not have been the most talented and scored as many points, but like you play with your heart on your sleeve, and these people are going to be behind you, and they're going to
End up being
support
a fan
you.
favorites even.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
A lot of those people are guys who like were here for super long and then
Yeah.
they worked their way and then they got their time to do those little minute part. I think you
Yeah.
have something special where like you have that minute part in the beginning where you go out there for 3 minutes, make it like an energy plays, and now you're becoming like an actual contributor where
Consistently, Coach Self is depending on you to
You're
do.
averaging what in the Big 12 play like 13 points a game or something
maybe.
like that. So like that is a big, that's a huge jump. And when he asked player comparisons like most improved,
Definitely. It's
Definitely,
Yeah.
it's definitely you,
Has
but
to be
then
you.
you also look at the list. Like Jay Will's made a huge jump.
Yeah, that's-
Dajuan's made a huge
Well, he
jump.
averaged like 10 points per game, Jay Will.
Yeah, and now he's
And
at
now
20.
he's 20 something
And then you have guys like Ernest, where like they've made a huge jump in the
from
last
10 games.
10 games. And so that was another question I read earlier too, is like Ernest becoming a guy that can come in and give you a break. Like that's huge for you.
Yeah.
Did you help him get through that, or were you just kind of like always there for him and he just had to get it himself?
Well, I don't think there's anything you can tell Ernest because he's the most energetic person I've ever seen in my life.
That is very true.
Like, I've never seen anybody so high and never get low.
Yeah,
Like, he's
for sure.
always high. I've never seen him sad or mad about anything in his entire life. That's so crazy because, like I'll get pissed or something and then I'll make up for it. But, like, he never gets low. Like, he's always he's always on a high. So, and he's like 22 for 22 in conference play. Like,
Which is
I
crazy.
He
saw that
hasn't
stat
missed.
this morning. I had no idea. He's 100% from the field in conference play. I had no idea.
People were asking me what are the comparisons between Udoka and Ernest Uday. I think it's hard to
close
compare.
as-
It's hard to compare because Doak was a lot like bigger.
Yeah.
I think when he got here, he was like 270. Like that's a big dude. Like Ernest is getting there, and also Doak got hurt during his freshman year, so like it's hard to compare because
I think
Ernest is healthy and
Style of play wise, though, like I feel like Ernest, Udoka Azubuike is like the top end of the top end. Like that's the max out potential of any
true.
person
A
that
video
plays
game.
the way he plays. And I think Ernest plays the way Udoka plays.
I think he can develop into that for sure.
He could develop into that.
You look
But
at him and he like has all the attributes. Like I'm sure you see it every day in practice. Like he jumps out of the gym. Like he gives Juan somebody similar to yourself. He can just throw it up there and they're gonna go get it. Like that gives an offense an easy out.
Yeah, and
on
you
possessions.
jump very high, but you're a little bit shorter than him.
Yeah.
So getting your jump to be that high takes a little bit more effort than when he's 6'11" and they throw it up and he can pretty much already touch the rim. Like,
You know the crazy thing? There's so many things about Ernest that people don't even know. Like he's so agile with how he plays, and like he can get up there, but he's so long, so he can raise his hand up and dunk it without even trying. Like it's
Coach
so
Rob
crazy.
was talking to me similar to stuff about that. Like he used to play the point in the press in high school
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Like he never really had been in the position as a big man that we were asking him to play. And you start to see him pick up on it, and he's developing rapidly. Like if he keeps developing at the rate he's at, by the time that March Madness gets here, it's going to be important for you to be able to get rest from him. Like
And you see him, he's out here like guarding guards.
Yeah,
like, since
guarding
we're-
guards,
when
sliding
we
his
switched
feet,
like,
yeah.
he's like no one's really getting past him.
that's
really.
I feel like that's
No,
something
and
Doak
the-
didn't really pick up on until like his junior and senior year.
Yeah.
And Ernest is getting that early. I think
And
that
when
could.
that happens, I mean, that's when
Like,
you're
that's-
switching
oh
five
my
in the end of the
goodness.
shot clock, and it's like, yep, hey.
You're
when you-
switching 5 with a 6'11" center. Like,
Yeah, it's
how,
like, whoa.
how much better can
And
you
he's
get than that?
clamping
I know.
up, too.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
but the crazy thing is, he doesn't just stay for a man. He tries to steal the ball, and most of the time he's kind of successful.
He's had a couple of picks. He's had a couple of picks come off hedges and stuff. I'm like, or what is Ernest doing there?
I know,
reaching?
and then he
Why are you
actually
reaching?
gets
Like, oh,
it.
he
yeah, and then
actually
you
got
see
it.
the replay, and it's like that was clean
Yeah.
too. Like I wouldn't have called anything.
I got another question for you two. This person asked, "What is your favorite road win in your careers?"
You go. I know you got.
I have a little bit less experience.
Less experience.
Yeah, I mean K-State last year.
It's great win. Great win.
That has to mean.
How about this? Let me change that question a little bit. Favorite win that people might not suspect as being as big of a win as it was. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I get what you're getting at. I'm trying to think.
Mine personally would be Kentucky this year
Big win.
because everyone thought that Oscar was going to get like 6 offensive rebounds or like they're going to kill us inside. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like a little personal challenge for me, and especially since we won and I had a pretty good game. It's
Yeah, for
definitely one
sure.
for me.
That's awesome.
I love that game. People were asking like, how is KJ gonna block out Oscar? And I was like, one, KJ's strong. He's very strong. And I was like, two, there's gonna be plays where he's gonna hear a shot and KJ's not even gonna look back for the ball. Like it's just gonna be him.
All right, Jay Will,
know.
Kevin, go get the
Yeah,
ball.
like,
I am
that-
taking
I
him
know.
out.
I loved watching it because I mean, like you were sitting like
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing, and you were able to fight him off. But it was like, oh, there was some plays where you probably didn't know, like the ball could have hit
my
you in the
God.
back of
I
the
know.
head.
I was not focusing on the ball. I was focusing on him not getting it. That's
Yeah,
that's what people don't understand. Like I get like 2 4 rebounds a game, and they're like, "What is wrong with him? Like he plays like 30 minutes, but like I don't know why, but like people call me short, but I've never been called short this much in my entire life."
Yeah, but short for
my
being a
position,
5-man and like a high major, like the number 3 team in the country, arguably the best team in the country.
But basically, the only reason I don't get as much rebounds as people think I should, because I'm making sure a 6'11" guy doesn't jump over my back to get the
people
rebound.
and people don't appreciate that because like you have great rebounders in Jay Will and Kevin. I mean,
dude, one of those
Grady,
3 guys have a double every game.
They're gonna get rebounds, but like your job is to block out the biggest player, the guy that's gonna get the most rebounds to the other team. Like I think people don't understand how much effort that actually takes and how much focus that takes, because every time a shot goes up, you gotta Eddie Lampkin, a 6'10", 6'11", 260 pounds, like leaning on you. Like there's gonna be times where you're not gonna get as many rebounds as other people, and that's fine because your other guys can.
Yeah.
I want someone with a lot of time on their hands who listens to this podcast to go through and do some advanced analytics and watch rebounds that KJ hasn't gotten, but he's stopped his man from getting like an Oscar or like something like that.
Yeah.
I would love to see
illegal box outs, full 2 hands on the guy, just facing forward, not even looking at the
football.
basket.
You're just blocking. You're
start
blocking.
giving him credit for it though. Let's see if he gets 100 rebounds in a game or something like that.
All right, Chris, what's your next?
Okay, I mean this is a good one. We were just talking about Ernest's defense, and this is a fun. This will be a good question. What do you think Coach Self would rate this team's defense on a scale of 1 to 10?
1.
Yeah, that's the game.
I feel like every team you play on, with exception to the 2020 team,
Yeah.
like Coach
Oh, yeah.
Self's always gonna be like, this team can't guard anybody. Like there's gonna be no way these guys can guard. Like, but at the same point in time, we go out there and we're gonna play pretty damn good defense in comparison to other teams around the country.
Well, and I mean, this year we're rated top 5 in Ken Palm defense efficiency. And then last year he told us how bad we were at defense the whole entire year. Then after the year, how many times has he mentioned how good last year's team was at defense in practice?
Every practice.
Yeah, no, see, that's the thing. You're never good until like as soon as the final whistle blows, the final game of the season.
Then he'll give you some flowers.
Yeah, and then it may be a 9 or a 10, but right now it's a 1 through 5, maybe like 5 being like after we held the team to like 40 points.
Yeah, like when you're on the team, you're not a real guy, but once KJ's gonna be moved on, you're gonna be a real guy.
We would talk about how Dave couldn't really jump as high, and then once Dave left, he was the best center ever.
The highest jumping Wilt Chamberlain, the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain. Like
if Mitch Lightfoot would have got the more opportunity of a national player of the year.
Get out of here. Like, I think it's just funny how like. I mean, obviously, it's kind of cool, like looking back on it. Like, Coach Self, like, really, you think that about me?
I know.
Yeah,
because during the time, like, I was considered soft.
Oh my god, yeah. Like you really should have just said, "What is he rated on 1 to 10?" Soft. So like that was he
would be a -5.
He said at halftime. He said at halftime last night's game. It's like, yeah, we try. We just don't guard absolutely anybody, but we try hard. Like that was literally his quote from last night.
Jeez. Like even after Baylor, that was the only time he said we weren't soft that game. The only other time.
Oh yeah.
You're a real guy then.
You're a real guy.
You guys are real guys for that one half. And then tomorrow morning, you guys are all so soft.
Yeah.
He watched over the film, and we didn't play as well as.
But he always goes like he'll say all those good things, and then after he'll be like, "Well, I thought this, and then I looked at the film, and this."
Yeah, it's like KJ, you are the softest guy. Notorious. You had 12 rebounds. Only one of them was a real rebound. Like
I think the best film is when Mitch gets a little butthurt and tries to say something to coach. Those are always the best films until we have to go back.
What was that?
Oh god, it was.
I was like, oh yeah, watch me give him a bucket next play or something like that. And coach's like, what'd you say?
It was like, and the most sarcastic answer, like, Mitch, that's what I love about you. So dumb you won't even realize.
But then he knows you can never win during those conversations. So he was like, well, I would actually enjoy if we just went back at each other because I have a whole bunch of film.
It's like, all right, let's watch this play. It's like, well,
Brennan, go ahead and draw it up. Like, I've got all the film I need.
Mitch got thrown to the ground here. So soft
here, can't play here. Oh, watch this.
Can't play dead, but guess what? He gives that guy a bucket.
That guy couldn't play dead in the Western.
Next play, he gives the guy a bucket.
Best stadium in the Big 12. You can't say Allen Fieldhouse, KJ Adams.
Best.
We're not even going to say best because we should.
Loudest.
The loudest.
Hardest playing.
Probably K-State. It's probably hard to beat that.
Yeah, I mean we're right.
It's a rivalry game. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
I mean, I always liked Tech. Like when we had a couple.
Oh yeah.
When they
We had a
swag
couple-
surf
I
at
missed
Tech
that
is
one.
crazy.
I missed that.
Swag surf at Tech. Like that's the only. I mean, I can't say K-State being the best at anything.
It was kind of
Tech.
hard for me to get that out of my say K-State.
That's why I said no best. Like that's what I'm saying. Like let's go with Loudest.
That kind of hurt to say that.
Yeah, no, their fans have been really loving me on Twitter these days. After every time they drop a game, it's just
You go out of your way
I was
to
about to
get
say.
their attention. It's like an ex-girlfriend where like, oh, she's crazy with me. But I mean, she was just texting me the other day. Like, well, I texted her first.
no, it's fun because I definitely like to poke the hornet's nest, and they don't appreciate it too much.
No,
They're easy
All
target.
good fun though, you know.
All good fun. They're a very easy target. We've been talking about like the common theme of this podcast has been how you bounce back from adversity, how you can tell the good teams through the bad teams for how they face adversity and how they bounce back after it. Do you think the timeliness of us facing adversity this year will help us into the tournament, or I can't really ask, like, this is maybe not the best question, but like, do you think there will be a dip, or do you think we're locked in where it's like you don't see us wavering? Because that's how the 2020 team
Would
was.
you
Like,
would
after
you
we lost
rather
that
have
first
stumbled
one, it was
early
done.
or have stumbled late?
No, I think stumbled late because Coach always says like the best team really picks it up until the kind of last stretch. So once we get hot, I think we're getting hot at the perfect time.
Yeah, 100%.
And that was kind of like last year. Like we dipped pretty good amount, but then like we had to kind of crawl our way back up just to tie the Big 12. So that kind of did a lot, and we were just uphill after that. So I kind of hope that's what happens this year.
Yeah, we were really. I mean, I forgot that we tied. We shared it last year, didn't we?
Yeah. We shared it with
But we had 2 chances.
yeah,
Yeah, we had 2 chances. We
So
lost
that
both
hurt
of them.
bad.
yeah, for
I
sure.
forgot about that. Like, when I think back to last year, I'm like, damn, we were the best team in the country all year. It was like, no,
No,
we weren't.
we were not. We got hot at the right time.
But that's when we lost to TCU when TCU wasn't. I don't even think TCU was ranked, so they weren't even looked at as really good at that point in time.
Oh no!
And then we realized they were good when
and they went
got in
to
the tournament.
Sweet 16, or
Yeah,
did they go to
after.
Sweet 16 or?
No, they. I think they did. They went to the Sweet 16 and lost to Arizona on a questionable call. Like
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
questionable
So it was
call.
Texas first, and then TCU, because then we beat TCU at home the next day. The next 2 days.
I thought did we not lose 2 games to TCU?
No, we beat them when they came back home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so after that, I was
I'm
like,
always
man,
really
screw
lost
this. Like, I lost in my hometown, and then we lost to freaking TCU. We didn't win a game
Yeah, we didn't win a game in
Texas?
Texas
all in
last year.
Texas all last year, so I was just butthurt getting all these
Hey, we're
Twitter
going to
and
play in
Instagram
KJ's
DMs.
hometown. Make sure we throw this.
I know.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, next question. March 4th. I think that's March 4th is right at Texas. In some way, the Big 12 championship will be on the line.
Oh yeah.
Probably for the most part, unless Texas drops or we drop.
Mm-hmm.
But it's either going to be for us winning outright, for them winning a share of it,
Yeah.
or for us winning a share of it, or like whatever it is. That game in Austin,
Got a
Texas,
lot on the line.
will be the last, probably the last game of the Big 12, and yeah, it is the.
Yeah, that is going to be the probably craziest game.
Have you thought about that yet?
I've definitely thought about that
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah, I was
'Cause
just making sure.
Especially hometown in another person's place, playing for the Big 12 championship like last game. Like they both won it. Last year we played Texas last, but it was only for us to win it.
Yeah.
And this time it's for both.
Yeah.
So that is going to be just insane in itself. And that they got the new arena. They're probably going to sell out the house again. Like that is going to be crazy.
And we don't love them either.
I would say outside of K-State, they're really my least favorite, the second least favorite.
Yeah, we went over that last time. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Texas is that's an easy thought for me. They're up there. They're maybe 1A and 1B.
And it's been, I mean, historically, it's been pretty hard for us playing down there. Like we've gone down there and they've been really good. So this will be fun. I think you guys definitely have all the tools to go down there and handle business. But it's gonna be a good game.
I just had to ask. I forgot. I mean, I honestly just like didn't put 2 and 2 together. You're from Austin, and I was looking at the schedule this week, and I was like, oh god, like I have that game marked on my calendar, being like,
And
this'll
all
be-
my family's going to be there. All my friends that I know, like everybody that I know is probably going to be at that game or watching.
It's
Like,
going to be a war too.
my
Like they're
goodness.
competitive and physical. Like the game here.
they're an old
it
team
was-
as well. Yeah, like older
Yeah.
teams, like they've got stuff figured out. But at the same point in time, I think we've got the
Other-
leadership as
yeah,
well.
Oh, dude, it's a fight. It's
gonna be a dogfight.
That's
what I was about to say.
50-50
Other than
game.
us they're probably the second most competitive team that we played.
Yeah.
Like you can see, like they're definitely easily.
Christian Bishop does not like us. Timmy Allen
Does not like us.
does not like us. Hates Sharon Collins.
Yeah.
Um,
Their new guard from I forgot where he came from, New Mexico State.
Oh,
the
shot
yeah,
fake.
it's the shot flick.
He hates us too for no reason.
Yeah,
But he has a dirty shot fake. I will say
Yeah.
that.
Nice shot fake. Still hates us.
Oh my God. Coach literally said, like, when we were playing Texas, do not go on that shot fake. Next play, I jump out of the gym trying to block his shot. On the shot fake.
He like jump shot fakes, you fly by.
It's the
get
worst
away.
feeling in my entire life. After coach says something and you do the exact same.
And you realize in like midair.
Yeah,
like,
and you're stuck,
you're like
like,
in
no,
air.
no,
You're
no,
like,
like,
dang it.
At
There
that
he
point,
goes.
you just want to foul him so he doesn't get a shot, but he got an assist. So
Yeah.
We'll get him back this next
I
game.
was at that game, and I remember because he literally, like, I think I was talking to Jaden when the manager before, he was like, his shot fake. That was like the one goal was stay down on his shot fake. And I watched someone do it first, and then he said it, called a timeout, and said it to you, and you did it again. And I just like look at him, and he was like, I can hear exactly what Coach Self says, won't repeat it. But I just died laughing, being like, oh yeah, like you just immediately like jumped up in the air and looked at Coach Self like,
I know. Mid-air.
I'm sorry,
I'm
man.
sorry.
That's the worst thing. And sometimes, like, you don't even want to look in that direction. So, like, like 5 plays down, I won't even look
His
at
head's
coach.
gonna be in his hands.
I just look for Juan to tell me the play.
yeah. You gotta stay away from that man. Because he's red. It's at Texas. We were not
Clipboard's
playing
going to
good.
break sometime soon.
You
Next
go into the
TV
huddle.
timeout.
Jesus. But he doesn't even do that no more. He just straight down.
Straight down.
Yeah.
He's changed his form.
Yeah, he changed it a little
It,
bit.
last year it was over the knee.
Yeah.
This year might be just straight to the ground.
I think I like this one better because it's like he's like pissed off and
Yeah.
punches.
Oh,
through it.
you
It's
mean he
like,
punches straight through
oh,
the
no,
board?
he'll have it between, like on his knees and boom, punch right through it.
Coach Self is like,
He doesn't do it often because I think they have like he gives himself one a year or something like that.
We're past that.
But I think he like finds himself or something. Him and Coach Q have something on the line.
We have about 4 or 5 down this year.
hey,
You
gets,
guys
hey,
see-
it gets the job done though. You
I
look
mean-
at 14 quad one wins. I mean, if that's what it takes to, get those
Jeez.
wins.
But it's only like
Buy some
it's-
extra
It's usually
clipboards.
a 1 a year, but this is we're.
You guys deserved it. There was like 3 or 4 games in a row where I was like, dude, we would have.
You were breaking clipboards.
I was at my house going to Dick's Sporting Goods, buying clipboards and coming back and breaking them in between half times.
But my question is, how many clipboards do they have in the inventory?
Oh, they've
Because they all have Coach Self and like Kansas. So how many
Printed
clipboards
on
do you
them.
think?
I'm sure when he was younger, they had to get like an allotted amount of like 50 during a year because I'm sure they were going at like an exponential rate. Literally,
3 a
like,
game.
yeah, it was just like every TV timeout.
Coach Self has
That was
relaxed a
one
little
guy.
bit since then, but
They have a lot still in inventory from a while back.
That's-
and the thing is, like as soon as he breaks it, the managers have a clipboard ready like that.
in
It's
2
like clipboards
seconds.
here.
It's like they're waiting, to see if he's gonna pull it out.
It preemptively tells the managers like, hey, this time out, bring me an extra clipboard because this one's definitely gonna be broken.
Just like the Dr. Diet Pepper or the Diet Dr. Pepper at every halftime. Like
Yeah.
they will forget it with the cup of ice and they'll have to sprint all the way back before the coach's office and have that ready for him right when he walked in.
Every time, like it's crazy.
I'm jealous. I was jealous of it. Like, I mean, I obviously wasn't playing those big games. Like, I'd be thirsty at halftime, like a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Can you guys not help me? Like,
Yeah, give me one when I come in. Come on now. Let me focus up. Let me get locked in.
That's one thing. Actually, CB used to drink soda before.
oh, unknown fact.
Yeah.
Pepsis.
Unknown fact.
Before high school games. I
No,
heard.
he would drink them during high school games. In his water
I
bottle,
never
he
knew
would
that.
have Pepsi in his water bottle.
But he would drink Pepsi before games at KU. Like it would be
Oh, yeah.
in
That's
his
the
locker.
craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Soda during a basketball game.
He's one of a kind.
You've never had like a soda, like a McDonald's Sprite or like McDonald's Dr. Pepper after a basketball practice, though.
Yeah.
It may be the most delicious and like,
But he does it. He probably has 8 sodas a day.
and that's why he's in the NBA and I'm not. When I treated my body right, like was putting water,
Some people
And
are
McDonald's.
jealous.
free Gatorade, yeah, and he's good.
8 sodas a day and McDonald's for every meal of the day.
Some people just have it.
Damn. That makes me not like my parents as much now.
Why didn't you let me drink Pepsi before every
I should
practice?
have Pepsi and ate McDonald's strictly for my whole entire career. Maybe I would have gone first round.
You know the crazy thing is, CB would always just talk about how like everything's written, so like it wouldn't matter what you did.
It's already gonna happen.
everything's just written and it's working out for him. So
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that approach because that is like I think that's kind of where his confidence
Yeah,
comes
oh my
from. Where it's like,
goodness.
hey, yeah, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and if it works, It was written. If it doesn't, guess what? It was written.
What I do does not affect
It
anything.
does not affect the fate of the universe. I love that approach.
What is your favorite part about living in the bougie place y'all call home in Lawrence? They are talking about McCarthy Hall. What is your
McCarthy
favorite
Hall.
part about McCarthy Hall?
Probably the barbershop.
Barbershop.
Because you can have someone come in just whenever, right before a game or in the morning, so you can go fresh cut when you know.
If y'all remember Chris's experience, that was not him.
I
His,
was getting a cut. I was getting a cut before every game. Like that's how you saw. I was getting a perm with it in the back and perm in the front.
the mullet was flowing.
It was flowing simply because of the barbershop, man.
I gotta say, my favorite part about living in McCarthy had to be the movie theater. Watching we would go turn on NFL games in there. We could have
UFC fights.
4 games on. Yeah. That's
Or
pretty
the
good.
patio. The patio's pretty
Patio's-
nice when it's
definitely nice.
sunny.
Yeah.
I think basketball court too. I mean, we all practice basketball a lot. Trust me. The other stuff's really
24/7.
cool too.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm gonna go with like a cheesy, corny kind of thing, but like it was like living almost like in a frat house where everybody was with distance of each other, but we also had our own rooms that were massive with 10 feet high ceilings and queen size beds and 2 shower heads in our showers and stuff like that. But then the fact that I could go down the hall and knock on whoever's door and we'd be chilling in the hallways and stuff, that was something like I really, really enjoyed. That definitely sounds
It sounds
like it comes from a former player who like is trying to relive the glory days. But like, no, that's like something that you never get to experience again. Like supposed to be able to do it in a place where it's so
And
nice.
24/7 too.
you can go knock on somebody's door and be like, "Hey, you want to hang out?"
Yeah.
After college, you can't do that. Can't do
No,
that.
you can go knock on like your girlfriend's door or something. Trust me, she doesn't want to hang out.
She'll be
with
like,
you.
"Go away.
Yeah.
I'm doing something."
Like after you see her enough, it's
No, but it's definitely a cool place to live. I mean, I think it's the most unique, special place for player accommodations in the country, and I hope that other people come, other players that are.
Yeah, this is we're actively recruiting.
it's
We're
the
actively
advertisement for
if
other
you have
recruits.
a 5-star kid, or if you're a 5-star kid watching this, come to Kansas because of McCarthy. We just give you a nice sales pitch right there.
It's a very nice place, and you get to play with some very nice players like KJ Adams.
Yeah. Hey, KJ, appreciate you coming on, man. This wraps up another episode of Rock Chalk Unplugged. Rock Chalk, baby.